My father has a saying, if something's not worth doing at all, then it's certainly not worth doing well. I think that saying captures an attitude pretty well. Have you ever felt as if you were trying to convince people to do something well, to put their hearts and souls into it, that they didn't really care about at all? So it was like pushing a string or herding cats because they didn't think your project or your activity was worth doing at all? I worked with a call center where the help desk people who answered the phones felt like Rodney Dangerfields. They got no respect. It wasn't that they wanted the callers to respect them. The callers called in with problems and they just wanted quick action. The folks in the call center wanted respect from their own internal people, their peers from other departments. Here was the problem. A customer would call in upset about a technical problem or a billing issue or what have you, and 95% of the time, the person in the call center would solve the problem on the spot, and everything would be fine. But about 5% of the time, the call center employee would need to involve someone from a technical or billing or some other group, another employee in their own organization. This was where they'd run into problems. These folks in other departments wouldn't return their calls, or when they did, they'd be rude. They'd sort of imply that it was beneath them to even be talking to an employee from the call center, much less hurrying to meet a deadline set up by a call center employee. They didn't think that supporting the call center was worth doing at all, much less worth doing well. So here's the problem. How do you convince people that your issue is important, that they ought to care? There's a common mistake we tend to make. We try to influence people using lectures, sermons, and data dumps. We try PowerPointing and pencil whipping. We try what psychologists call verbal persuasion. Now, we've all read the books on verbal jujitsu and getting to yes, but the bottom line is verbal persuasion just isn't very persuasive. As soon as people see through our agenda, see that we're trying to persuade them, they put up defenses. I know I do. So what's a more effective way to change people's minds? Personal experience is the gold standard. If you want someone to say, ooh, responding to the call center is more important than I thought, then the way to get there is to put them in the call center where they experience what the call center people have been experiencing. And that's what we did. We rotated engineers, accountants, and even people from their attorney group through call center assignments. And it worked. People experienced the pressure and the sweat on the front line, and they changed their minds. Response rates improved dramatically. Now, of course, we're not alone in using personal experience. Think of the ads you've seen from Saturn. They have engineers and people in assembly travel out to customers to check out their cars. Or think of McDonald's. They have corporate executives spend time each year in their stores cooking fries and handling the order window. The next time you need to persuade someone, your daughter to keep up with her homework, your colleagues to return calls from the call center, or whatever, think about how you can create a personal experience for them. Maybe have your daughter volunteer to help with an adult literacy program instead of relying on verbal persuasion.